you all. I hope all is well. I hope that by now you have taken a listen to the second episode of season 2 with my Millennial 29 Sense. My best friend, Kelli Jackson of Hank's Mini Market in Los Angeles, California, interviewed me and asked me some questions connected to the topic in the wait, single life and dating or not in the pandemic. And so one of the things I was like, sure, talk about this, was the fact that I have here recently gotten on some dating apps. And I said in the podcast episode that I would share some of my experiences. So first, let me give you a little background about dating apps for me, like period, in general. I haven't been on a dating app for years. Since my 20s. But because we are in a pandemic, because it's not the best to go out and about and socialize, to network, meet people, there are ways that we've had to make up for it, right? And so definitely dating apps have increased in traffic. And yeah, I don't know why my dog is deciding to I have two, but my older dog Tinkerbell is like over there arranging her bed like she has not slept in years. And so she's doing this thing where she like walks around in circles and then she like scratches repeatedly, and she'll do this for 15-20 minutes sometimes. So if you hear her, please excuse my Tinkerbell Victoria Grace. She's being so extra right now, and I'm gonna be easy because I'm recording. So anyway, and then my little one might come running in here in a minute, but we're going to be okay. Let's push through. So people, we've had to, because we are resilient as humans, we've come up with new ways to do just about like everything, or we've capitalized on ways that we've done things. Now she's drinking. You are doing the absolute most, ma'am. Like at the moment I'm recording. So I have I have multiple beds in different places, always have, for her and then now for her sister. So they're able to like lay anywhere, basically that I am, or in any part of the house, at the space we're in. So we adapt, and that is what is so awesome about humans. And so the dating app scene, like I've said, has increased, like traffic has increased. And I broached, so why? Why did I decide to be on a dating app? Because, people come to dating apps for different reasons. They have choices on there like, you're looking for a long-term relationship, short-term relationship, hooking up, networking, like whatever platform you're on. So, and then even with that, people still have their own agendas, right? So for me, getting on the dating app is more about like getting back out there on the scene without being on the scene, right? Since we can't do it. So it's like a way of back on the scene, right? Like put my toe in the water a little bit. So it's for me to be like, all right, Jasmine, all right. And so do I know what it looks like at the end of it when I get off of it? No, except that I'm using the lens of putting my foot in the water, like, okay, got it. Cool beans. One of the things I found interesting about being on a dating app now, as I said in episode 39, knocking on 40, shouting. Yeah, I just realized that my lip gloss was above my lip line. Excuse me. I thought. Y'all remember that song? Shorty swing my way. Sure look good to me. Now would you please swing my way? Shorty swing my way. Swing it over here. Shout it. Y'all, who sings that song? Like, why did I remember that? Anyway, back to what I'm saying. So one of the things I have found, or the pros, I would say, of dating apps is that there are, for certain ones that you get on, they have like pre-screening questions that help match you to people. They give you options where you can engage, using a phone feature or a video chat feature. So you don't have to give someone your phone number, which I think is cool. What else? They allow you to set preferences. And typically I found that to set preferences, you have to subscribe to like a membership of some sort for either a month, 3 months, a year, whatever. And of course, based on whichever indicator that you select, the price, you get a better deal for your price, or the price, something like that. So I think that I would recommend, if you decide to use a dating app, know like why you're doing it, and give yourself a framework, right? Like, not to necessarily limit yourself, but I think we as people have to have an understanding of why we're doing things. And I've always had that like on my brain or in my thought process. Like, I have to understand why I'm doing something, because it avoids, wasting time, because y'all, that is something I'm working on with myself in this season. You can't be so focused. You can't be so rigid that you don't allow life to happen and enjoy the moments of life. And so I'm grateful for that. So I would even say a tip I would have for a dating app as well, is like, know what your expectations are. And then if you engage in the space of you've met someone, like, make sure you know what their expectations are too. And that's just not on a dating app. That's just dating, period. Because if you're not on the same page, then it's just not healthy. And then your feelings can get hurt. Their feelings can get hurt. And I think sometimes as women, we kind of, we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And so we kind of try to stick it out or whatever. But it's like, you know what? Be true to you, right? And I would just say, like, a page I like to take out of just anyone's book really is, and being true to yourself. Don't feel bad or guilty for doing what's best for you, right? If someone doesn't understand, we're really not responsible for that. We're only responsible for how we conduct ourselves and how we respond to things. And so I think sometimes what happens in dating, or it can even spill over into relationships, one of the parties tries to like shame the other person for being vocal or sharing their thoughts or sharing their feelings. But don't ever shrink yourself in that capacity, because you're so bent on being in a relationship with someone, whether it's romantic or platonic, right? Anyone who means you well, and if you mean people well, you want the best for them, right? And so if someone needs to like do something that's the best for them, and that means taking a step away, saying, okay, this is not working for me, then it has to be okay, right? Because life is not going to be over. It's not going to be over with. And we should never like be dependent on people in a way for our happiness and for our balance and for feeling whole, because people oscillate and change for any given reason. And that's not saying that we shouldn't look to forge healthy or constructive relationships. We absolutely should. But your peace, my peace, your happiness, my happiness, your sense of security, my sense of security should not be solely reliant on anybody, whether, it's a loved one, romantic relationship, platonic relationship. Because again, we all have bad days. And, if I'm having a bad day or the next person's having a bad day and they don't, give you some words of encouragement, or I don't know, whatever it is, they just say, maybe they're not able to show up that day the way they normally are. We shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, my life is over, and then like get mad at that person. We have to be loving and caring and kind and err on the side of love. If we just err on the side of love, y'all, that would just fix so much. Like, err on the side of love. God is love. He leads with love. We should lead with love. And if that's the barometer, then we could treat our neighbors the way that we treat ourselves, right? But then that carries another question, or it begs another issue. If we don't love ourselves and consider ourselves in a healthy and constructive way, then we have a hard time doing that when considering other people. So I did not mean to say and share all of that. So let me get back to dating apps. So know your purpose for why you're using a dating app. Communicate. I would say is like, be easy. Just take the light. Go with, or use it with, I should say, an open mind, but still know what your end goal is, know what your purpose is, and be easy. And know you can always delete it. Just because you have the app on your phone doesn't mean it has to stay on your phone, right? They have a couple that one in particular says the point of the app is to delete it. So good stuff, right? But just like we shouldn't feel confined or limited when we're on scenes in the, face-to-face world, it's the same thing in the online world. So be safe, enjoy. Take care of you, right? And something else that I would say is interesting is I find that some of the profiles that I see or that the apps say I match with, I'm like, what? Really? We match? And it has nothing to do with the photos. It has to do with like when I'm reading like some of their answers and responses, I'm like, oh, okay. But again, it's all right though, because I'm just doing this to get used to being on the scene. So when we're able to like safely gather, I would have gotten the butterflies out, where it's just like, all right, I'm familiar with this. I can do this. Because if the pandemic wasn't happening, like, or right before the pandemic started, I was on the scene in that capacity or in that way, spending time with girlfriends in, let's say, adult spaces. Yeah, so it was good stuff. I feel like when we're like at peace with ourselves, that really exudes from your aura. And I think that it potentially creates a space for you to engage in conversation with people, period. Yeah, because, you're at an event where, the commonality is enjoying live music or karaoke. It can be said that basically, y'all, now Zoe's scratching her bed. It can be said that basically that commonality is there. And so when you just are like at peace with you, I think that connects with people and you connect with people. And who knows? You could meet a person for networking purposes, or you can meet someone for romantic purposes. Who knows? But I think the idea is to be open, be healthy in mind, body, and spirit, be at peace in who and what you are as you are a work in progress, ever evolving, and remain self-reflective, knowing the who, what, where, and why of why you're doing things. And then I just add in this extra bonus, be prayerful and like seek God, because when we keep our eyes on Him, everything else just is settled and falls into place. Yeah. Like I remember I heard a message once that said something about, is it the horses when they're in the Kentucky Derby, or maybe show horses? Yeah, I really can't remember. But I think it's horses in the Kentucky Derby. They have like these things that cause them to look forward so that they can run their race and not be concerned about what the other horses are doing. So yeah, we can just be focused in that way, that every person, we all have our own journeys. We all have our own steps and stages. No journey is the same. And we come to different things at different points in time. And however that happens, let's just endeavor to be the best version of ourselves. Yeah. Because until, let's just be the best version of ourselves, moving forward in that. All right, so I just wanted to add to that discussion from the interview that my best friend Kelli Jackson of Hank's Mini Market did on my podcast, My Millennial 29 Sense, which can be found on Spotify, Google Cast, Pocket Casts. It's like the whole gambit, but I'll put it in the description box, okay? And my podcast is the fourth Wednesday of every month, and it premieres at 1:11 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you can listen to it on your lunch break, or I don't know, like whatever works for you. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and I will see you all next month. If I don't upload a vlog before March's What a Word Wednesday, which is the third Wednesday of each month. It premieres at 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'll talk with y'all soon. Take care.